Welcome back. I'd like to stay in the book of Psalms for a little while longer and consider some more of the prayer Psalms of David. I'm going to go all the way back toward the beginning and begin at Psalm 3. Psalm 3, beginning verse 1. A psalm of David, when he fled from Absalom his son. Yahweh, how they have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me. Many are they who say of me, there is no help for him in God. Selah. But you, O Yahweh, are a shield for me, my glory and the one who lifts up my head. I cried to Yahweh with my voice, and he heard me from his holy hill. Selah. I lay down and slept. I awoke, for Yahweh sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Yahweh, save me, O my God. For you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongs to Yahweh. Your blessing is upon your people. Selah. David spent a lot of time crying out and speaking to Yahweh. He began as the shepherd boy out in the fields on his own. He was anointed as a young man to be the next king of Israel. He was used by God to fight against Goliath. And even at that moment when he was coming to battle against Goliath and Saul wanted him to wear all his shield and everything else, David said, I can't wear any of this. He says, Yahweh is the one who delivered me from the bear and from the lion, and Goliath will be no different than they. And then when he went and fought Goliath, he comes and says, you attack me with sword and shield, but I come to you in the name of Yahweh. David had this understanding and this relationship with Yahweh, such that in Psalm 23 again, he cries out, Yahweh is my shepherd. He understood just as he was shepherding sheep, so Yahweh was shepherding him. And so as a sheep would bleat out to its shepherd, so David is bleating out to his shepherd. And he's crying out in this time of distress when he's fleeing from his own son, who is seeking to usurp the throne. And he cries out to Yahweh in his distress, in his trouble, asking Yahweh for his protection, for his deliverance, for his comfort, and for his strength. Look what he says, that these who are troubling him come around him, and they're mocking him, saying, there is no help for him in God. And yet, David knows of his relationship. And there are times when in our lives people are going to mock us because of our relationship with Christ. Where is his God? Our God sits upon his throne. He hears from his holy hill. When we cry out to Yahweh with our voice, we can know, we can be assured that Yahweh does indeed hear us. And again, as we've considered over the last couple of days, Yahweh is sovereign over all the affairs of the nations. When he chooses to be involved, he will be involved. If he allows something into my life, there is a purpose for it. But even in the midst of those times, I can cry out to him, knowing that he hears me and that he cares. Look what David then says, verse 4 into verse 5. I cried to Yahweh with my voice. He heard me from his holy hill. I lay down and slept. I awoke, for Yahweh sustained me. David knew that he could trust in Yahweh. Even though chaos, if you would, was going on around him, people were seeking to trouble him and to cause him great distress, that ultimately his comfort, his encouragement, his exhortation was in Yahweh alone. David casted all of his cares, if you would, upon the Lord, knowing that the Lord cared for him. And then he lay down and he slept. Paul told the Philippians, be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will keep your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. You have to believe that God is in control and that God cares for you. And that ultimately, as David says in verse 8, salvation belongs to Yahweh. Your blessing is upon your people. If you are in distress, depressed, struggling today, cast your cares upon the Lord, knowing that he cares for you and that salvation, deliverance ultimately comes from Yahweh and Yahweh alone. And have a blessed day.